Hello, and welcome to Zap the Gender Pay Gap, the podcast series where we expose the elephant in the room. The elephant's name, the gender pay gap. I am coming to you from Memphis, Tennessee, located on the banks of the mighty Mississippi River. Nestled in the southwest corner of the state, Memphis is home to the blues, barbecue, and so much more. I am your host, Gwendolyn Tucker.
Thank you so very much for joining me for this episode of Zap the Gender Pay Gap. I am your host, Gwendolyn Tucker. Look for me on Apple, Spotify, Google, and YouTube, or any other platform where you find your favorite podcast. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd so appreciate it. You guys, I am so very sorry I'm late publishing this week's episode. On last week, I paid tribute to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and urged you to take time to dream more in 2024. I wish I could say I got caught up in dreaming that I failed adequately plan to get this episode out on time. In part, that is true. But even though I really hate to be late, this whole situation is working out for my good, and that it is perfect timing for today's topic, which is plan more in 2024. In reality, plans are the way to build out our dreams, to flesh out or put meat on the bones of your dreams, adding more details and information. I'm not sure what you have been dreaming about lately, but my dreams center around being healthier, wealthier, and wiser. Key ingredients for well being, which is defined as the state of being happy, healthier, or prosperous. I just love talking to y'all. It stretches me and makes me only want to bring you the best. As I was checking out the definition of well being, guess what I found? According to Psychology Today, there are five major types of well being. Imagine that. Want to know what they are? They are emotional, physical, social, workplace, and societal. Now, here's how Dr. T. Davis describes each of the five types of well being. We'll start with emotional well being, which is the ability to practice stress management and relaxation techniques, to be resilient, to boost self love, and to generate the emotions that lead to good feelings. And number two is physical well being, which is the ability to improve the functioning of your body through healthy living and good exercise habits. So that's emotional well being and physical well being. Number three is social well being, which is the ability to communicate, to develop meaningful relationships with others, and maintain a support network that helps you overcome loneliness. Number four is workplace well being, which is the ability to pursue your interests, your values, and life purpose in order to gain meaning, happiness, and enrichment professionally. And then five is societal well being, which is the ability to actively participate in a thriving community, culture, and environment. Now, some may be asking, why take the time to go into detail about the five types of well being? Pretty simple. So you and I will know what they are, first of all, and we will be able to put some meat on the bones of our dreams. Last week, I asked what you wanted more of. Many of you started by identifying what you wanted less of. And looking at each of these, I can only imagine that you would wholeheartedly agree to take less stress, huh? But more relaxation, to feel less drained and more energetic. I know I'd like that too. But just dreaming about these things or wanting some more of one thing or the other doesn't automatically make them happen. No, for the dreams to become our reality, we must take the next step. So let's talk about how to practically apply this. My dreams of being healthier includes getting back to a healthier weight. I dream that one day I will be able to comfortably fit into my wedding dress. Yes, yeah, I still have it, preserved in a box, just waiting for the day this particular dream comes true. I have a ways to go, but I am working on it. Seriously. I'm sure you may be asking, what exactly are you doing about it, Gwendolyn? On this one, I am really glad you asked. One of the ways is consistently exercising. At this point, 4 times per week for at least 30 minutes. Once I master that, I will increase the number of minutes to a minimum of 35 minutes, then 40 minutes to get me to 150 minutes of aerobic exercise per week. Now, my husband Ricky and I are also focusing on eating healthier. In 2023, we eliminated all meats, sweets, and processed foods. It started out as a 5 day challenge that turned into 21 days, then another, and now here we are, 365 days later, not eating meats and sweets. Boy, do we feel so much better. We plan to continue on. Now, when we decided to eliminate meat, the change in diet led to us looking for restaurants with a selection of non meat items that were tasty. My husband really likes mushrooms. So one day, while looking for mushrooms, we landed at Huey's. I know of all places, but they have some really good mushrooms and they happen to be fried, which makes them even gooder. Now, I know that's not the right word, but I think you get my meaning. We try not to eat too many fried foods, but these are really good. Our goal is to keep it to a maximum of once per week. Okay, back to what I was saying. Oh, yes, eating healthier. One day while at Huey's, we saw a quote by James Dean. For those of you who know me, even just a little bit, you probably know that some quotes seem to stick to me like glue, and this one did. You know what it says? Here goes. Dream as if you will live forever. Live as if you'll die today. Dream as if you will live forever. Live as if you'll die today. My husband and I both were so inspired by this quote that he took a picture and texted it to me. We have talked about it several times since then. And you know what this means to me? To me, it means yes, go ahead and dream big dreams. But we only get to live into those dreams one day at a time. So, by all means, dream and with it, create a plan to make your dreams a reality each day. So, what have you been dreaming about? A dream vacation? Just today, a close family member alerted us to the joyful news that she and her husband are setting sail for a jazz cruise in the Caribbean. Cool is that? But to actually step on the cruise ship, it took some planning. For you to realize your dream will take some planning too. Have you found yourself dreaming more in 2024? That's great because dreaming is using your imagination for good. Now you get to use your imagination to plan the good things you've been dreaming about. You get to turn your dreams into a reality by building a structure around them. Let's start by writing down what you've been dreaming about. Make it very clear on the page where you write it so that it can be easily read. Just the act of writing it down gives you power to take the next step, which is to start planning how you will live into your dream. It's actually the creation before it's actually created in reality. Remember what I said about our close family members who are setting sail today for a cruise? To actually step foot on the cruise, it took some planning. And for you to realize your dream, it will take some planning on your part. Now, when it comes to your health, your wealth, and your well being, what do you want more of? What do you want less of? If you are an employee, you have one customer, and that customer is your employer. It means and will take a lot of time, energy, and expertise will be to be invested to make sure you're meeting and exceeding your customers, aka your employer's expectations. So the question is, how will you balance emotional, physical, and workplace well-being as you fund your lifestyle? Is 2024 the year you look to go and search out greener pastures as it relates to your employment? Only you can decide if and when. But once you decide, it will take some planning to identify the steps you need to take so you will land well. By well, I mean in a better place than you're in now. And before you take the leap, be very clear on what you want more of and what you want less of. Because remember, workplace well being is the ability to pursue your interests, values, and life purpose in order to gain meaning, happiness, and enrichment professionally. Enrichment, both monetary and non monetary, includes enhancing your skill sets as well as upping your pay. Just recently, I heard someone say you can have a job, a career, or a vocation. Quite frankly, I believe you can have all three at the same time. But if you have to choose, please, please, please don't settle for anything less than a career. A path where you see growth opportunities in both scope and pay. Scope relating to your ability to play to your strengths while developing your strengths, and earning fair pay as you do so. Now, after working for a bad boss for 2+ years and then finally landing in a position that I was made for and it was made for me, I remember saying, I love what I do and I love who I'm doing it with. Talk about workplace well-being. That was it. Here's my ask of you after listening to this week's episode. Take some time to write down what you've been dreaming about, along with some steps you can take to begin living into that dream. By all means, dream more in 2024. And when you do, make plans for your dreams to become your new reality. Please drop yes in the comments if you made the decision to dream more and plan more in 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. Consider sharing this podcast with another woman in your world, and please ask her to join us next time. I look forward to seeing you here next Wednesday at noon Central Standard Time for the next episode of Zap the Gender Pay Gap. Until then, please be well.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Zap the Gender Pay Gap. Please rate, review, and subscribe to or follow me wherever you get your favorite podcast. I am your host, Gwendolyn Tucker. Thanks so much for listening. See you next time.